What's up, y'all? My name is Jessica. Today is Thursday, March 12th, 2026. Welcome to Tell Me More.
Man, we started this show. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What's up, y'all? Thank y'all so much for clicking on this video. I'm excited to be back. I did not realize how long it been since I recorded one of these. I honestly thought it had been like a week and a half. Turns out it was almost 3 weeks. But anyway, we are here, and per usual, the topics are flowing. There is so much to get into. It is really a task to try to nail these down. But the formula that I'm trying to go with here is a couple of trending topics, a break, and then we're going to be going into a deep dive into something that I feel like is important to talk about. So that's what we're doing today. I just want to shout out though all the creators who put out multiple videos a day. Y'all are the goats. I don't see how y'all do it. Like I don't see how you can monitor every single trending topic and put that content out and it be so polished. You got to have a team or something. I'm a one woman show over here. But I'm also trying to take my time. I like to make sure I come with an informed opinion, even though sometimes I'll be reacting in real time to videos. I do like to have some background information so that I can make sure that what I'm sharing is accurate. And again, that my opinion is fully formed on something. I'm a seeker of truth at heart. I'm a seeker of truth. I'm a curious person. I like to ask questions. I like to do deep dives. So I want to naturally do that with my content. But there is a, fine line you got to walk so that you can actually get it out. So shout out to y'all that are here with me through all of that, through me trying to figure it out. And I really, really appreciate you. I really do. Now, if you want to support me even more and you value the fact that I am so intentional and so serious about my content and what I put out there, you can actually support me by becoming a member on Patreon. Patreon is actually free. There is a paid tier, but you do not have to pay to become a member. I have a free membership option. But of course, if you want to pay, I would love that because creating content costs money. All the things that I'm using to create it today cost money, and you get to watch it for free. So if you want to just show me some love, you can do that on Patreon, or you can subscribe to my channel right here on YouTube. That is completely free. So yeah, it's up to you. Members do get exclusive benefits that others don't have access to. So you might want to stick around and subscribe for that reason because I do have some things coming up. I said March was going to be my month where I do these live. I'm not quite ready to go live yet. So right now we're still moving strong with the recordings. But eventually I do want this to be an actual live stream where I have audience participation in the chat and even have a panel discussion at the end. So if that's something you're interested in, trust me, you're going to want to become a member so that you can participate in that. So just quickly, we're going to run down these topics. We're going to be talking about Trump and this potential military draft that people keep talking about, where that even came from. Because when I saw it, I'm like, I know Donald Trump is not about to pull that move. So when I actually went and looked into the story and got past the fear mongering, I found some facts that are important that I do want to share. We're going to be talking about this shooting that took place at Rihanna's home and what people are saying about that. We're going to be talking about Mama Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mother, and this gumbo, and how folks are alleging that the lady put voodoo on the gumbo. Wild. And speaking of wild, we're also going to be talking about how these children and teenagers are out in America going wild, running crazy in these cities and just wreaking havoc everywhere. We're going to get into that. If you enjoy this type of content, go ahead, give me a like, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, tell me where you're watching from. That really, really helps y'all. It is hard to build an audience these days because we're competing against the algorithm, we're competing against AI. It's just an oversaturated market. Things are not like they used to be. So please engage with the content. Okay, so first things first, our first story is Donald Trump and these rumors about a potential military draft. So, y'all know I follow a bunch of independent creators on YouTube, and I started seeing folks talking about a draft, and I'm like, I know Trump is not about to try to do no military draft. Like that just can't be right. And so when I looked into it, I saw where that came from. So I want to get into that video and then go through some of the facts on the draft and how this thing could possibly unfold if he decides to take that option. So we are going to actually look at this video that started it all. His White House press secretary, Carolyn Levitt, appeared on a Fox morning show, and the host asked her about the draft because she mentioned that families, moms, parents, or whatever, were worried because of this war in Iran. So we're going to watch that video and then look into a news story by US Today to just kind of separate the facts from rumors.
Interesting exchange on Air Force One over the weekend, Carol. I want to get your take about this idea of troops on the ground. Mothers out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now.
Mm-hmm. It has been, and it will continue to be, and President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table. I know a lot of politicians like to do that quickly, but the president, as commander-in-chief, wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. It's not part of the current plan right now, but the president, again, wisely keeps his options on the table. But as commander-in-chief, there's no greater priority or responsibility to this president than, of course, protecting the American people and protecting our troops and our bases in the Middle East.
So you hear from there where she talks about he has not ruled out any options. That is the line that has people kind of like, what? What is going on with Trump in his draft? And so people have been talking about it. Now, I don't know if that was because I do follow politics. I follow politics. I follow national politics, international politics. I didn't see people in the comments talking about drafts or whatever, So I'm not actually sure where this host was getting that. And this is part of what I feel like sometimes the media encourages fear. They do a lot of fear mongering through their reporting because if you're saying that mothers are worried about this, you had to have gotten this somewhere. And it would have been nice to actually show someone expressing their concern. But whether or not they have those receipts, people are concerned about this. This is a war that nobody in America wanted. Americans have been screaming for things that have largely been ignored. Trump is even betraying his base. So we're seeing that this two-party system is just not working for Americans. We can't get the things that we need done, but yet you have time to go to war. In this article on USA Today, they kind of went into the details of her Carolyn Levitt's appearance on Fox, and they're also talking about whether or not Trump is even talking about it. Now you can see here where they say they reviewed Trump's appearances in his interviews in the last week, and he has not commented publicly on the possibility of returning to a draft for this war in Iran. So we don't know where the host got this question from. And could she actually just kind of be throwing it out there to see how people will react? I don't know. But there's no indication that Trump has said that this is something that he could do. And so they're also stating that if the draft were to be reinstituted, it is going to require action on behalf of Congress. There's going to have to be some type of congressional act for that to take place. It's going to involve amending the Military Selective Service Act, and people will have to be eligible. They'll have to figure out who qualifies, and it would just be a whole process. It's not something that they'd be like, hey, the draft is coming back, and then tomorrow people are getting letters about where they're going to be serving. It wouldn't happen like that. And I just think it's important to discuss that and go over that, because if this is a real fear or concern of the American people, particularly folks with children or who may be in that age bracket between 18 and I think it's like 29, this is something that you want to be following. And it just has me questioning the state of our military. Like, what does it mean for our future that you would have to even resort to doing a draft? What would that signal in terms of war and how long we could possibly be at war and who we would be warring against? It's just a lot. And nobody wants war. Like, let's be clear. I don't know anybody who wants us to go to war. No American, definitely not no black folks want us to go to war. So I don't know where all this is coming from. And I do want to eventually at some point get into the spiritual aspect of this because there have been reports that military generals are telling soldiers that this is a war to bring about the Messiah. They are trying to start, I guess you could say, the tribulation. I don't know what they got going on, but there were rumblings, rumors that this war was intended to bring about Armageddon. So I do want to talk about that. I think that is so relevant. I think it's so relevant. And if you are familiar with my content, if you've seen any of my recent videos, you may have come across the one where I talk about us living in days and times where prophecy is literally unfolding. And I feel like prophecy has always been unfolding, but right now it's on a different level. What we're saying is on a different level. And I think we should be paying attention and be talking about it from a spiritual perspective as well, especially those of us who are Israel and who need to be discerning the times and understanding what is going to take place so that we will be ready. The scripture tells us to watch and be ready. And it's just a lot going on with it that I've been seeing in my own studies that I want to talk about. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if I'm going to have that conversation openly on YouTube or if it'll be something that will be on Patreon. So that's again a reason why you should be a member of my Patreon. Again, it's free. It's free. You don't have to pay nothing. But I just want to make sure my audience is where I am so we can have these conversations. But let me know what y'all think about this. Are you worried about a potential draft or America trying to reinstitute the draft? Let me know in the comments. Now, this next story that I want to get into is one that people have been talking about nonstop, and that's this shooting that took place at Rihanna's house a few days ago. Let me say this about Rihanna. I went through my Rihanna phase in grad school when she had put out, I think it was her last album, I don't know, whatever album it was that had Future on it. And then it was one like right after that where the Love on the Brain was on. I think it was Anti. I am a I used to be rather a Rihanna fan. She really ain't put out music, and I've never bought any fancy makeup, not for any type of reason, but as you grow older, you just grow out of things. And Rihanna is one of those celebrities that I kind of just grew out of. But I also think that she is one that is treated with similar reverence as like a Beyonce. You know how you can't really say anything negative about Beyonce without folks coming for you. And you know how Beyonce is also like allowed to do things that other celebrities get criticized for. I feel like Rihanna kind of falls into that category as well, and her actions and her involvement in different controversies often go overlooked because of who she is. But needless to say, people are, believe it or not, I don't even know how you could be divided in this story, but people are actually divided on this particular story about this shooting. Some people think that this was a deranged individual who did this and, is going to be held accountable for this. And other folks are actually feeling like this girl that targeted her actually might have been speaking some truth. I don't know how, but that's where we at with it. So before we go any further, I do want to pull up this video of this young woman who is the alleged shooter that shot up Rihanna's gate. They're not clear on whether or not the bullets actually hit Rihanna's home, but we have seen the footage of the gate or like that wall of where the entrance is actually being shot through. You can see the bullet holes. But let's look at this video from this alleged shooter, this suspect, and let's hear what she's saying before we talk about it.
You're not the eagle. They will soar high on wings like eagles. Rihanna wants to say that we are flying. That we are flying and we're not. she's not flying. She had a bad day. She looks really stupid and corny. And everyone knows it. But the way that they want to, that girl, the way that Rihanna wants to kill me, she's the one who wants to kill me. The way that Rihanna wants to kill me shows that we're not going to show this right now. But this is my heart, Lord, and I am expecting and waiting in that beautiful time for you to show me what you're going to do and how you're going to deliver this promise. It's in my heart and it's in my vitality, and I'm very, very grateful to you for your abundant graces. Listen, Rihanna, when you die, God is taking me to my future. You want to kill me. Shut the up, okay? Shut the up. Yeah, she's a witch. She's a witch. I'm a watchman. She's a witch. Get that stupid girl out of here. Okay? They can't do this. They can't do this. What about my hands? What about these fingers over here? What about these 3 fingers? What about it? What about it? No, you're not here. You're rebuked. And even if you're here, there are many in this realm. There are many in this realm, and you are rebuked, and Jesus is the king, and you're just kicking and screaming on your way out and perishing.
Y'all heard it. Now, this is interesting. This is actually my first time seeing this. That's pretty interesting. The things that she was saying. So as you can hear there, she's obviously a religious or spiritual woman. She seems to believe that it looks like she believes that Rihanna's out to kill her. She's claiming that Rihanna's a witch and she's holding devotional, she's holding her Bible, and it's really interesting. I don't want to call the girl crazy, but it's giving a little crazy. Did you see how when she was saying how you go from talking about being rebuked and the Lord and His grace, and then you cuss it? Like, I know we cuss, I cuss here or there. I'm trying to get better with that, but I mean I ain't never did it like that. So there's obviously some things going on here, but people are saying that regardless of how she is appearing, there is some truth to what she is saying. So first, let's touch on the potential truth. The potential truth is that we know that ASAP Rocky is openly tied to and associated with the occult and occultic practices. We've seen him on the photos doing the seance. We know that he has a relationship with Michelle Lammy, who is she's a very sketchy, scary individual who has been linked to Luciferian and satanic type of acts. That's ASAP Rocky, Rihanna's baby daddy, who she got 3 kids with and lives with. Her partner is involved in those things. Now, Rihanna's had her share of rumors with her selling her soul and the things that she may have done to reach her level of fame, being connected to Jay-Z, those type of things. When you see those names floating around, you're familiar with the rumors. It is what it is. So is there potentially some truth to what this young woman is saying? Maybe, but she is definitely the wrong messenger if so. She's clearly going through something there. And I hate when these type of things happen because it is, in my opinion, a distraction, and it does lead people astray. It causes people to double down on the things that they believe and say about the Bible. When it comes to spiritual matters, there is just a lot that we have to unlearn. And I'm saying we, those of us who grew up in the church, there is a lot of deception and just false preaching, false teaching when it comes to Christianity. These spiritual things now more than ever have just become topics, hot topics, but there are real things at stake. The demonic realm is real, demon possession is real, and there are real witches out here. I have been doing some research into feminism. I got this article from Substack that dealt with this book that revealed the occultic ties and history of feminism, and it has just blown me away. Just that, among other things, my actual real world experience with spiritual things. It's just a lot there. And I hate when things like this happen because it can be a deterrent to people who actually want to know Christ and who are trying to do the right thing and are trying to figure out who to follow and what's right. This gives believers in the Bible a bad rep when folks do this, but it does happen. It happens. But is that Jesus' fault? No, but it happens. Um, but going back to some of the conspiracies around this situation, people are wondering, like, why would Rihanna leave her home? And y'all just got to be crazy to think that her leaving her home is the indication of her being involved in something nefarious. I mean, she is a mother with 3 young children, and her home just got shot at. So who would want to stay there? I wouldn't. I would get out too, especially, she got the money to go wherever she wants to go. She did the right thing by leaving. I don't think that it makes her look guilty of anything. I don't even know how people are making that conclusion. A lot of folks also believe that Jay-Z is somehow involved in this. And this is where I just shake my head. And I had to tell my husband, baby, you know what? You right about these folks. Because we have this thing all the time when it comes to Jay-Z and the Illuminati and these celebrities and them selling their souls and all that type of stuff. He's always like not trying to hear it when I'm trying to talk to him about things that I've seen. And this is one of the reasons why. Like when you claim that Jay-Z has something to do with what seems like an isolated incident, it undermines the things that Jay-Z is allegedly involved in and that people are trying to figure out what's going on with, like his name coming up in these Epstein files, his history with Harvey Weinstein. Those are legitimate things. So when you just throw Jay-Z on every conspiracy involving the music industry, it makes it easier for people to disbelieve the real things that he may be involved. So I got to go with my husband on this one. People really do believe that this woman was speaking some type of truth, and I just can't see it in this situation. If I'm missing something, y'all let me know in the comments. I just think that this is a case of someone who is obsessed with Rihanna, who is also maybe in a spiritual journey of herself, and it just became a lie. I keep hearing this term spiritual psychosis, and I need to look into it more. But a lot of people are also saying that this may be what's going on with her. But y'all let me know what you think about this. Do you think that this woman may be speaking some type of truth, or do you think that she's just a deranged, obsessed fan? And let me know if you think Jay-Z might have something to do with this, because there is surely something that I'm seeing floating around, and I just can't believe it. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Our next story. Now, it doesn't have to do with Jay-Z, but it got to do with his mama-in-law, Tina Knowles. Tina Knowles, also known as Mama Tina, Beyonce's mom. She recently made an appearance at Houston's rodeo selling gumbo, Mama Tina's gumbo. Who knew she was a chef? I didn't know that she had any food entrepreneurship going on. I thought the woman was a stylist. I didn't know that she dabbled in the culinary arts, but apparently she does. And she had a booth selling gumbo at the Houston rodeo. Now, that's not the thing. The thing is that people are saying that this woman had done some voodoo on this gumbo. Now, I'm always up for a good conspiracy theory, but on top of Rihanna and now this, we have to be careful putting this type of stuff on situations without proof because it undermines when it really is something that's actually happening. I'm not saying Tina Knowles does not dabble in this or that, but what I'm saying is we cannot label everything is with witchcraft or voodoo because it's actually going to hurt our message. But let's just see here what people are saying about this. This is a video from the YouTube channel for Marcus Dixon. And he has a compilation of people who are talking about this gumbo endeavor, and then a young man who actually mentioned how he saw Solange in a store that he was working in when he was under the tutelage of a witch doctor, warlock, whatever you want to call it. So let's look into those things, and then we're going to come back and talk about it.
The demons in these people, if you really have the eyes to see, y'all don't see it. Y'all got friends that be around y'all that don't like y'all and y'all can't see it. But I see right through this lady.
I can taste that is good. You need this more often. You need this for your soul. You need this for your soul.
Your soul is at stake. Is your soul worth a cup of gumbo? It's that serious. Is your soul worth?
Okay, so he's saying that when the girl said is you need it for your soul, whatever they said it was good for your soul. I think they're just saying, look, gumbo, I'm a Creole girly. Okay. My mama make the best gumbo you ever had. I love gumbo. It's one of my favorite foods. It is a comforting food. So if someone says gumbo is good for your soul, 9 times out of 10, they are referring to the comfort that it brings you. It's a warm entree. It's a very soothing, warm entree. A lot of people eat it during the cold months. My mama used to make it all the time for me for my birthday. She don't do it no more, but I wish she would. But that's probably what they meant by saying that it was for your soul. Now he said, is that serious? It is that serious. I actually agree with that. In my scripture readings today, I saw where the Lord was telling them, do not eat anything that has been offered to the idols. So yeah, it could be, but anything that we eat that we didn't cook ourselves could be contaminated with some form of offering to an idol god. You know, that's just reality. I still am not seeing why they're saying that the gumbo has been tampered with or has some sort of spell on it. I need more evidence. But maybe it's gonna come in the future video here. But I just wanted to stop and say that this is another one of those things, like with the Rihanna shooting. Yeah, that's true what you're saying, but can you apply it to this situation? Is this that? You know, that's something that you got to ask before you throw out those allegations. Now, the rumors are out about Beyonce, just like her husband, Jay-Z, just like Rihanna. There are rumors about Beyonce, and Lord knows there's a lot of evidence you can run a tape on when it comes to her and potential idols or entities that she may be involved with. I mean, that is there. That's been going on for years that people were saying it. And actually, when I was doing some studying into idol gods, because the Lord, He put it on my heart that I needed to read the Bible for myself from front to back. And I'm still on that journey. I'm in the book of Acts. I made it all the way to Acts. But throughout my reading, I did learn some things about the idol gods. And so I wanted to know who these gods were. So I started doing research outside of the Bible just on those gods. And the Holy Spirit showed me some connections to Beyonce and Ishtar, Inanna, that particular god. And I know if I would have made that video like I was supposed to, I probably would be monetized by now and have a whole bunch of subscribers, but I did not. I didn't make the video. I was not obedient to that, but it's coming. I got to make sure, like I said in the beginning, I like to be informed and I want to make sure I'm presenting my case when I say this, because what I'm going to say is going to sound crazy. But I'm telling you, when I was doing my study and the Holy Spirit showed me that. But as far as Tina Knowles, I don't know where people are getting this about her, that she's possibly doing witchcraft. Now, I did see an interview where she said she manifested her husband and the man was looking so crazy. Like, who did I marry? And they're not married anymore. But other than that, I really haven't seen any evidence of her being involved in some type of witchcraft activity. But we're going to keep watching, because there is a guy who mentions Solange and he says something about Beyonce's family. So I'm going to kind of fast forward to that. But if you want to see this full video, it is in my description box. Just check out the links. But yeah, let's see what else they're saying about this Knowles family.
This is when it was solidified in my heart. I'm getting, I went to this specific, it's called a Botanica. There's a Puerto Rican guy. He's a dual inducted warlock, Santeria, voodoo, Haitian voodoo. His spiritual mother is a Haitian lady, and they start teaching me more. And I'm there for about a whole week. And he's telling me, I'm the one that's supposed to induct you. You need to come to Puerto Rico and Haiti with me. We're going to go in October, right, during Halloween time. And you got to sleep at a cemetery. You got to sleep in Puerto Rico at Haiti first for about a week. Then you got to go to Puerto Rico. And I'm thinking, okay, well.
He told you had to sleep inside of a cemetery?
Yeah. If you ever study people that are in Ifa, Yoruba, Santeria, voodoo, they'll tell you in order to get inducted, you have to sleep in a cemetery and be tortured. Like, they actually put you through rituals, like hazing, like kind of what you see in fraternity sometimes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, bro. It's
Okay.
real. It's all. You probably could look that up all online, man. Yeah. So I'm thinking this is it, but I was kind of nervous, man, and I'll never forget. One of those days I was being trained up. I'm behind the register where the altar is and all that, and Solange Knowles walks in, Beyonce's sister,
And it's
altars and all that, and Solange Knowles walks in, Beyonce's sister.
and it's wait, what city were you in?
I'm in New Orleans in the
Yeah.
Botanica,
Yeah.
like in the cut, like kind of like what's that street that everybody goes
Bourbon.
Bourbon.
to? Yeah, it's like 15 minutes walking from Bourbon. And I promise you, bro, she walks in with her boyfriend. I don't know if that's still her boyfriend. It was like a Trini guy with glasses. And I'm looking like, okay, am I seeing things? Nah, this ain't her. And he's talking to me, and I was like, bro, is that Solange? She's like, oh yeah, she always comes in here. Her and her family, they always are doing rituals.
Her family.
Yes.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So dude just dropped the dime. He said all of them are they regulars in that particular. Why that particular shop?
So because they were in the area that she was going to, like, it's like a lot of these witches and warlocks, they have specific areas they go to get witchcraft. So like, just for example, like, how about this? Like,
they trust it. They trust this place to have like these.
Okay, so from there you can see he's saying that he was working at this witchcraft shop. He was being trained as a warlock, going through training. He was behind the counter at the store. Solange walked in. He learned that she always comes in there because her and her family do these rituals. And Solange did get kind of outed, for lack of a better word, for practicing certain spiritual rituals. Not even probably 2 years ago. I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. Not even 2 years ago, she was kind of blasted online for that. I should have looked it up. But yeah, I do remember that. And she does live in New Orleans, or she did at some point. So it's not really far-fetched that she's involved in this. Again, that people saw it on her Instagram stories, I believe, and you have all the rumors with them. So I don't know. Maybe people are saying if you even take anything from someone who's rumored to have participated in certain spiritual or witchcraft related activities, then you are putting yourself at risk. Maybe that's what the message is here, because I just don't really see anything that's proven that this woman had voodoo gumbo. But there is another video right after this, I believe. Yeah, so this is where she was talking about her husband again. If y'all want to see the full video, look in the description box. But let's see what this guy's saying.
To say about Beyonce. Of course, none of them actually went online and addressed the fact that Beyonce and Jay-Z were named in these files. And of course, they're never gonna actually address the fact that Beyonce is being named in these files, no matter what the reasoning actually is. Instead, Tina Knowles went online to try to make it seem like people were jealous of Beyonce. What would people have to be jealous of Beyonce for? What would people have to be jealous of Jay-Z for? The fact that they were mentioned in these files, the fact that Jay-Z was mentioned in these files with a lot of alleged criminal activity, is that something that people really have to be jealous about? Just like clockwork, Tina Knowles took to Instagram and she made a comment saying, wow, what a smart, confident young woman. Truer words never spoken. People who keep your name on their mouth and who constantly make up lies, half truth, and rumors to discredit you really admire you. Are they obsessed with you? You live.
I am going to say that it is odd to me, and it has always been odd to me that Tina always came out as if she were speaking for Beyonce or feeling like she had to defend her. That is strange to me. Like, Beyonce is a A-list celebrity by all standards. Her name is internationally known. She is at the very top of the list of A-list celebrities. Like, so I don't understand why her mom feels the need to respond to all of the things that she sees online. And I just think it's interesting because Beyonce is old enough to speak for herself. She's in her 40s. She's a mother of multiple children. She allegedly has a mind of her own. So why can't she speak for herself? Why is Tina always coming out to her rescue? But even still, none of this is showing me why the lady Gumbo got voodoo in it. I'm still not seeing it. If I'm missing it, y'all let me know. I don't know what else is here on the video. Let's see. He continues.
Live completely rent free in their minds 24/7. Yes, they worship you, and especially if you don't give them any feedback or attention, they really want to be you. So take it as a huge compliment. Is this a cult? Like, I'm confused. Are we in a cult type of thing? Like, what do you mean people worship Beyonce? Who worships Beyonce? Beyonce is not God. She's not Jesus.
Beyonce is worshipped. I mean, people worship her.
She's not Mother Mary.
She's not God, but people do worship her.
She's not none of that. So to sit on here and talk about somebody's worshiping Beyonce just adds on to that whole Illuminati whole thing, that Beyonce is not who we think she really is. And Tina, no matter how much you try to deflect,
yeah, this is still not like giving. It's not giving voodoo gumbo. It's not giving voodoo gumbo. I don't know where people are getting it from, but I was seeing that. Let's see what these comments say. Do not eat the food of him whose eye is evil or desire his delicacies. That's Proverbs 23:6. Somebody said then we shouldn't eat anything outside of our house. That is true. So people are saying, yeah, don't take anything from them. But I don't know. I don't see where it's giving voodoo. Wait, somebody said that's a witch's brew. Gumbo is a witch's brew, or that's a witch's brew. Now people did say the gumbo had too much chicken. It didn't had a right kind of ratio of things. But it said somebody says here that is real. They offer to deities. They're really the real origin of gumbo. I just recently learned that, and people started cooking it from the culture, not knowing the origin. Where did you read that? I mean, hey, I'm Haitian and was watching an interview with a woman. I don't know about that. Let me see if I can find her mom's interview about this, because uh she did do an interview about it. I guess for me, it just kind of threw me off because I didn't realize that she dealt in the culinary arts. I thought she was a hairstylist. She was kind of on that end of the spectrum. I'd never seen cook or chef from her, so it does seem kind of weird. People are saying with everything going on with the Epstein files, maybe this is connected to that and it's some type of ritual that she's unknowingly putting on people. But again, I don't see the proof. I don't see the proof that this woman has done any voodoo to it. I mean, we can assume things, we can feel how we feel, but it is important that we tell the truth. Like, this is how, again, like I said multiple times already, when there are really real things that these celebrities are involved in, people don't believe it when you throw witchcraft and voodoo on everything. So we need to make sure that we're speaking facts. Otherwise, we're just kind of adding to the noise. But let me know what you all think. Were you in Houston and happened to try this? Let us know in the comments. Are you okay? I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on that. Our next story is involving Selena Gomez. Now, I have to be 100% honest. I am not a Selena Gomez fan. I do not follow Selena Gomez, but I thought that this was interesting because I'm seeing this conversation ramp up about celebrities and having body doubles, or them potentially being cloned, or no longer being here with us. I've heard this about um Gucci Mane, Kodak Black, Avril Lavigne, Jim Carrey recently. People were questioning his alleged appearance at an award show. Beyonce has been accused of not being herself. Jalen Rose, remember when he malfunctioned at that game and he looked like a robot? We People are always talking about how these celebrities are no longer themselves and they've been quote unquote replaced. And so Selena Gomez is the latest celebrity who is kind of dealing with these rumors. I don't necessarily want to talk about her per se, but I do want to talk about the rumors. And then, so this video is coming from the Truth Is YouTube channel, and there is a little part of it where Avril Lavigne is discussing the rumors around her allegedly not being herself. So I'm gonna try to like go through this video really quickly. and then just kind of come back to my point with it.
The internet has become convinced this is not Selena Gomez. They believe this is an imposter and the real Selena has been gone for years. Pointing at her strikingly different appearance and a voice that seems to have changed overnight, many see evidence that she has been swapped. She joins the long list of celebrities the internet claims were removed and replaced. We saw this peak just days ago with the chaos surrounding Jim Carrey at the Caesar Awards. Now the question is any of this true? Are celebrities like Selena and Jim being replaced? Or is there a dark...
Now, I'm be honest. Jim Carrey did not look like himself. And there are a lot of reasons why people were believing that may not have been him. He's also a celebrity that has been in a lot of conversations about this elite, spiritual, dark force group of people that are really running the show. So again, all these celebrities that are coming up in these discussions are celebrities that have always come up in these discussions. Not necessarily that Jim Carrey was involved in anything negative, but that he's been one who has spoken out on these things. And so now he just kind of pops out looking completely different. And people are like, plastic surgery doesn't change certain things. Like their voices are different and their mannerisms are different. So people are just believing that these folks have been replaced. And from this picture of Selena Gomez versus my graphic here, she does look different. But again, I don't know enough about her or have followed her enough to, or at all, really, if I'm being honest, to know. But she does look different. Let's just keep it 100. And like he said, we see this with celebrities all the time. And Jamie Foxx, when he went away for a little while and came back and he was acting different and people were saying his tattoo was gone and just all these things. This is nothing new. This conversation has been happening. It's been happening for years about these celebrities. And I guess before I really even go any further, because I didn't want to get too deep off in it, I guess my thing would be is, okay, if this is true, or even before we get to whether or not it's true, like, what are we supposed to do with this? Like, what do we make out of this? And I'm not making light of it. I'm not saying that I don't believe it, because I do think some things are off about some of those celebrities. I do think that there are things that make you say, But my question is, what do we do with it? What are we supposed to do with it? Like, I just kind of struggle to find the point of talking about this, and every time a celebrity looks different, saying that they're possibly cloned or bringing up cloning, because I just don't see the point, other than maybe we should be asking where the real person is. But when people are saying this is them and you ask where the real them is, it makes you look crazy. So I'm just wondering what the point of these discussions is. Like, what is the end goal? What are we trying to do here? Explain it to me if you know. I really want to take a break, but we only got one more story before we go into our deep dive. So let's just get into it. Miss B. Simone is in the news again. This time, she has issued an apology to the entire internet. And y'all know, I've made several videos about B. Simone, so I felt like even though this topic has kind of died down, I did want to talk about it, because I have talked about her before, and I've had my issues with her. But let's just see what Miss B. Simone had to say in this apology, and then we're going to talk about it.
I want to apologize. I want to publicly apologize to the internet, to God, to anybody that I offended, anybody that I've hurt with my words, maybe on the mic, or maybe my opinions, or maybe me saying something out of like a response or flesh instead of truly letting it marinate in the Holy Spirit and let him speak through me. When I started this platform, I was in a really dark space. A part of me starting LTTA was to prove that I could stand on my own, or prove that y'all aren't going to keep me down, or prove that I'm going to have a podcast. It's going to be successful. It's going to be the #1 podcast in the world. I'm B. Simone. Y'all ain't going to keep me down for long. And I can't say at the beginning of this, my relationship was as strong with God as it is now. So at the beginning of this, yes, I made a lot of mistakes. Yes, there was a lot of bleeding on the internet. Yes, I was so broken when I started LTTA. And I'm just so grateful that I can publicly say this. I can publicly take accountability. I'm glad God is shifting my heart. I'm so different and God is working on me, and he just chose me to be worked on publicly. So y'all are going to constantly see me fall. Y'all are going to constantly see me sway and bend and break, but y'all are going to constantly see me get up.
Okay,
let's try this again.
I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I applaud B. Simone for this. I actually think this apology was sincere. Now, time will tell, but I believe that this apology was sincere and that she sounds like someone who is growing up. She sounds like someone who has learned from her lessons. She sounds like someone who is healing, who is recovering, who is accepting who she is and what she's done and where she is going. I can't be mad at that. As someone who creates content, I know that I've not always maybe presented myself the best way. I've maybe not always said the right things. I have most definitely been judged for content that I've put out. And you just get to a point where you get tired of performing and you realize, like, I'm just doing something out loud that a lot of people are doing behind closed doors, or they're not allowing people into their process. People aren't seeing their growth. People aren't seeing what they're going through. They're seeing me because I'm putting it out there. I get where she's coming from in that. And if you are creating content and putting yourself out there for whatever reasons, then that kind of comes with the territory. You're going to grow and you're going to evolve. And I think that she's just at a point in her life where she realizes that I have a greater purpose here. I am growing and it's okay. I'm giving myself grace and it's okay, but I do need to be held accountable because I've said some crazy, outlandish things. And I just think that she deserves another chance. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. We make mistakes every single day. If you are honest with yourself, you do something every single day that could be considered a mistake, that could be considered something that was wrong or that you shouldn't have done. You might do something every day that you regret. You might do something, maybe it's not every day, maybe it's every other day. None of us is perfect. We are all growing. And I just applaud people who don't mind growing for the world to see, because we are actually helped and we get closer to God through hearing other people's testimony and being able to relate to them. And I think that B. Simone has a story. It's something there. She's so creative. She's so creative. She's actually ahead of the curve with a lot of stuff that she's done in the past. And she's made a lot of mistakes, some very public mistakes, some mistakes that she shouldn't have made, namely plagiarizing. But a lot of the things that I feel like she's done is just been because she thought she knew something that she didn't know. And now she's growing and realizing that she got it wrong. And it takes a big person to come out and do this. I don't follow her podcast or anything to know whether or not this may have been an attempt to just get some views. I know she was speaking about how her finances have taken a hit over the years. So, some people are saying this girl ain't sincere. She's just trying to make some money. She just wants some views. I don't know. But what I do know is none of us are perfect. We all fall short, and God continues to forgive us every day. So I think we should forgive B. Simone, take her for her word, and just see what happens. But it takes a big person to do this. Y'all let me know what y'all think about B. Simone's apology. Do you accept it? Because she apologized to the internet. She had to apologize to me. I think she's done some crazy things, and I think she has hurt people's walk with Christ. But this is a huge step forward, and she really doesn't owe us anything. Everybody goes through this, but she's brave enough to show it. So I would just give her grace on that. I think this is sincere. That's just my opinion on it. But again, y'all let me know in the comments. And now we're going to take a very short break to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with our main topic of today's episode. Ladies of Jackson, Mississippi, listen up. Girlfriends Night Out is happening this Saturday, March 14th at Phoenix Bar and Grill, and the lineup is stacked. We've got all female talent taking the stage. Stephanie and Anissa Hampton are headlining with DJ Crust with the vibes, keeping the party going all night long. Doors open at 8 p.m. and the venue is fully loaded. Full kitchen, full bar, hookah bar, and a music, or patio. The only thing missing is you. Now, here's what you need to know. Lounge sections and tables are limited, and advance tickets are already going fast, so don't be the one who waited too long. Grab your tickets right now at WeGotAction601.com. Saturday, March 14th, Phoenix Bar and Grill, 8 p.m. Make those plans today and let them know Jessica Lofton sent you. All right, y'all, we are back. Thank you again to our sponsors for supporting today's episode. We have now reached the point in time of our deep dive of the day. And this is something that's been on my heart for a while now, just because of what I have been seeing in real life and what I'm seeing online. And I believe that we got parents that have totally checked out of parenting. And I got some theories on why this is the case. But if you just look at the state of children around the country, I mean, I see it every day in the things that parents just allow their kids to get away with, the things that parents allow their children to do. There is a problem with these children. They are running wild. And those that aren't running wild, they have just been left to the wolves. And that's kind of what is inspiring the deep dive today. But I do want to remind you, if you are still watching, that means you like this stream. Just face it, okay? You liking it. So go ahead and give me an actual like on YouTube. Like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next upload. And if you want to support me on Patreon, please do so. But I just want to know what happened to parents actually parenting. I have multiple stories that I want to touch on in this area, but I just want to share like my heart behind this because as a mom of three, and I also have a stepdaughter, it is just really concerning to me how children are behaving these days. Now, this is not the case for everybody's kids. My children are well behaved for the most part. They cut up at home because they be trying me and they daddy. But when they're in public, they're well behaved for the most part. My children don't be cussing, they don't be fighting. Like, they just ain't wild like that. So when I am around children, and my children are also homeschooled, so there's a little bit of they're not privy to all of the trends and things that's going on. So sometimes when we get in spaces and we're around a bunch of other kids, I'm just amazed at the things that these kids talk about, the things that they say, what they're doing. And it always just leaves me wondering, what are parents spending their time on these days? Like, how is your child talking about sexual things and they are in elementary school? How is your child cussing like they grown people? That is just, it's crazy. So that kind of inspired this topic, and because it's just so many things that happened within this last week involving kids, but also in my neighborhood, I've noticed that these children walk the streets every day. They walk the streets every day. They knock on people's homes, asking them to do work for money. Now, it's nothing wrong with it, trying to earn a couple dollars. But these children are never accompanied by any adults. It's always just them, or them is two little boys, or is one boy by himself. And it just, as a mom, when you see what's going on with the Epstein files, when you see the number of children, especially Black children, that go missing every day, and we never hear their stories, a lot of them never make it back home. I just can't understand how a mother or a father would allow their young children to walk up and down streets unsupervised, knocking on doors, asking for money. You are literally feeding your child to the beast, saying, "Here, take them. Take them. I don't ever want to see them again. You can get them." Like, how could you be okay with it? I don't. And I don't live in the hood, but I don't live in no gated community either. So it's not like this is just a really safe place. Children can get abducted from anywhere. And it just baffles me that parents allow their children to do that. So this is something that I've been wanting to talk about anyway. But when I've seen all these stories come out of Georgia, really, most of these stories have come out of Georgia. All of them but one, I believe, involving children and their behavior. It just has me questioning things, and I really wanted to talk about it. Also, because I'm on YouTube a lot and my children watch YouTube, I noticed that a lot of these child creators, and I see this more unfortunately in the black YouTube space, but a lot of these child creators are making videos with very mature topics and very mature conversations that kids shouldn't even be worried about or thinking about at their age. So I just believe that overall this is a parenting issue, and I just want to draw some attention to it. So this first story is coming out of Atlanta, where the police chief is calling on parents to step up. It is a shame when the police have to tell you to be a parent. That's crazy. So let's just watch this video. We're gonna talk about it, and we're just gonna go down each of these stories because there are several stories out there of teenagers and children just out here running amok, that we need to discuss because it does affect us all. It affects us if you live in these communities, and whenever these are safety hazards, safety concerns, or if you have children, it could possibly be being influenced, or people have children that are being bullied. These are some issues that as parents we need to be talking about and calling other parents out and holding one another accountable. The children are the future. What society does not protect their children? And I think again, there's a lot that goes into this. There are a lot of reasons that we are saying this, but that doesn't mean that we are helpless, you all. We gotta do what we can do. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it is a stretch, but we have just become so selfish to where it's just I got mine, you get yours. We really need that village. We need a positive village, not a toxic one. We need a positive one where we are looking out and helping one another. And just going back to the little boys in my neighborhood, I'm always telling him, I've asked him multiple times, like, does your mom know that you're knocking on doors? Does your mom know that you're walking up and down the street asking people for money? And I had to tell him the other day, put your money in your pocket. Somebody will walk up to you and steal it. This is America. We live in Jackson, Mississippi. This is not a place where you just let your child just be out in the street. I don't understand how parents do that. I really, really don't. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I would never allow my middle school, elementary school, hell, not even the high school age kids at this point. People snatch kids. We see every day. Black and Missing Foundation. Look them up every day. They are sharing profiles of children who have been abducted or they go missing and they haven't been seen for years. And these stories often do end up in tragedies. So we just gotta be more, I don't know, like we cannot let this happen to our kids. But anyway, let's get into this story coming out of Atlanta. Um,
Teen takeovers causing trouble all across Metro Atlanta. Good evening and thanks for joining us on 11 Alive and streaming on 11 Alive Plus.
And I'm Jennifer Bellamy. The takeovers have sparked waves of arrests over the past few weekends here. The latest takeover happening in Atlanta along the Beltline's East Side Trail. Atlanta police say they first responded to a shots fired call on North Avenue, less than a mile from Pont City Market.
11 Alive's Galad Malamed is live from the Beltline right now. So Galad, what does the department say about cracking down on these takeovers?
Atlanta Police Chief Darren Shearbaum says the department is going to enforce any city code or law that it can to try and stop these takeovers. But he's also calling on parents to step up, saying they will be held liable if their child violates curfew. This video shows one of more than a dozen arrests Atlanta police made over the weekend, all tied to a teen takeover on the East Side Beltline.
Wherever these individuals try together, individuals that are going to cause harm in the city, they're going to meet the Atlanta Police Department.
On the Beltline, you can see officers recover what they say is a gun from a juvenile. Just hours later, police made more arrests at a gas station.
They were acting in manners that were illegal and disruptive and impacted the safety of the community.
In total, Chief Darren Shearbaum says his department arrested 17 people. 13 were taken into custody and 4 issued citations. Police also recovered 11 firearms.
11 firearms that were present on the Beltline, possessed by individuals that were not legally allowed to possess them because of their age or because of the conduct they were conducting at the time they were arrested by our officers.
Chief Shearbaum says the department deployed extra resources to 4 areas of the city where takeovers were advertised online. The Beltline is the only area to see issues. Just 1 week ago, a similar takeover unfolded at the Battery, where Cobb County Police arrested multiple minors and adults. That prompted the department to up its patrols this.
So I guess I'm just wondering, do y'all see all these people? When I was in high school, like we did have parties and stuff. We did get together outside of school. So I don't know if these children are lying to their parents about where they are, but it's just sad. It's really, really sad because it's so dangerous. And when you are a teenager, you do not understand the danger that you are in. Hell, some of us as adults don't always understand. Sometimes it's just after the fact, we just thanking God that He kept us. They don't really know how much danger they are in and the very dangerous game that they are playing by being out here. Look at them standing on top of cars. This is just ridiculous. I was a little bit sheltered as a child. My mom let me go to parties and stuff like that. I could hang out and have fun, but there are a lot of things that I couldn't do. I couldn't just be hanging out. My mom had to know where I was. And even now, like we have location features and things like that. So I don't, probably some of these teenagers' parents don't know where they are and they've lied because kids do lie. But it's just sad to see this happening. Children should be doing things that are productive, doing things that are fun. And then when you hear that the majority of them can't even read, y'all really should be somewhere in some books, okay? We didn't have guns and stuff. I was a teenager in the 2000s, early 2000s. I graduated high school in 2006. We weren't carrying guns. Why do these kids need guns? That's and this is how, again, things are trickle down effects, right? We have gun rights as US citizens, but this is how people get leverage to administer even more gun control and take away those rights because things like this are happening. So it affects us all, whether you have the kids or not. We should be able to have our protection if we want it. But situations like this give politicians more reason to say, hey, we need to put limits on this, this, and this. And then parents not parenting. It affects everyone. We even see it here in Jackson not too many summers ago. There were curfews put in place for the youth here because the youth were out of control. So this is something that's happening in a lot of cities. But again, most of these stories are coming out of Georgia. And this one's in Atlanta. I don't think the others were in Atlanta, but there are just a lot of things coming out about children and they are running wild. And let's read some of these comments. It says the parents are out with their kids doing the same thing. Start charging the parents too. Parents are the ones sending their kids out and supplying them with weapons. I don't know about that. These parents do not care. My kid wouldn't be doing this crap. Mine either. Yeah. And then, of course, the racism always has to show as if their kids don't do anything, but we're going to get to that. So, yeah, that's just the first story. I find it horrible that a police chief has to come in and ask parents to actually be parents. But this next story is another example of that. But even though they're trying to paint this one totally different, but have you all heard about this situation in Hall? I think it's Hall County, Georgia, where a teacher died after a prank that these students pulled on him. And there have been a lot of developments in this particular story, and they are trying to somehow, like now all of a sudden the teenagers are the victims in this. The teens went to the teacher's house. I don't know if they knew that they were at his home. I feel like they did, but they were about to toilet paper his home. He came out and caught them. Now, there are reports saying that he was excited to catch them, that he was happy about this. Somehow or another, they're trying to get away. He ends up falling, tripping and falling. They run over him. He dies. There were 5 teens in total that were arrested for this, but the man's wife, the teacher's wife, actually wants the charges to be dropped. So that's kind of what's going on here. I'm going to share this updated story because it goes into what his family wants. And then you see like the people in the comments, they're just so sad. Oh my goodness. It's just an accident. It's just so tragic. And I have some issues with how this is panning out, particularly because Black children, Black teenagers never get this type of grace, even when they've done things that have been accidental. It's just amazing how people twist themselves into knots trying to defend terrible behavior on behalf of other populations. But when it comes to Black kids, they're criminals regardless. Doesn't matter. Let's see this other story. Let's look into this other story. Let's watch this other video about this because it talks about where the family is in this situation and how things are panning out.
A high school prank gone wrong. Police say 5 teenagers went to Jason Hughes' house around 11:30 Friday night to throw toilet paper at his trees. According to the sheriff's office, when Hughes, a math teacher at North Hall High School, came outside, the students, all 18 years old, tried to flee in 2 vehicles. Authorities say Hughes tripped and fell into the roadway, and one of the drivers, Jaden Wallace, ran him over. Police say Wallace and his friends, seen here in mugshots obtained by ABC affiliate WSB, tried to render aid to the teacher, but the 40-year-old later died at the hospital.
He was a great guy, God-fearing man. He would do anything. He'd take the shirt off his back and give it to you.
Wallace is now charged with first-degree vehicular homicide and reckless driving and could serve up to 15 years behind bars. Police have charged all 5 teenagers with criminal trespassing and littering on private property.
That the family wants to make really clear is that they knew these kids, that they loved them, and these kids loved the Hugheses. This was not a malicious act.
The Hughes family telling our team Jason knew these students were coming to his house and was excited to catch them during the prank. His family says this was a tragic accident and they fully support dropping the criminal charges against all the teenagers.
I'm sorry. His family don't love him. It's no way. It's no way. Nobody. Let me just let it keep going.
And the victim's wife, Laura, is also a teacher at the same high school. In a statement to ABC News, the family says, quote, "We are thankful for the outpouring of prayers and support as we grieve the loss of Jason. We ask that you continue to pray for our family and also for the students involved in the accident along with their families."
Okay, so that's the story, right? They go to his home. They said that he knew that they were coming. I stand corrected. They were not toilet papering the home. It was going to be on the trees, which is still annoying. But apparently he was looking forward to this. He saw them. This is my thing. These students there is a petition on change.org. Let's actually go to that petition. Let's look at that petition. So this is the story on NBC News. So almost 4,000 people, I'm sorry, almost 5,000 people have signed this petition in which they are asking that the DA of Hall County, that the Hall County DA respects the family wishes and drop the charges against these teens. They're saying that this is an accident and justice should be compassionate. And it should be proportional to what they did. And I just find that crazy. I truly find that crazy. Because number one, Black children, again, are never given this amount of grace. And how did the students become the victims? Where are their parents? Did their parents know that they were going to be doing this prank? And when you talk about an accident, they're saying, oh, he tripped and fell and he ran over him, but they tried to save him. It doesn't matter. You hit him. You hit him. And I'm just wondering, the wife is saying she wants the charges dropped. These are great kids. They shouldn't be, punished in this way. Justice should be compassionate. It should have compassion, respect our wishes. But what would this man wish? He is dead, never to come back again. Do you think he's okay with being dead? And because he was excited to catch him, he somehow be okay with being dead? That I just don't I don't understand how the teenagers have now become the victims in this situation. So their family, in this quote from NBC News, it says, "Our family is determined to prevent a separate tragedy from occurring, ruining the lives of these students." But this man dead. This would be counter to Jason's lifelong dedication of investing in the lives of these children, the same children that killed him. Yes, it could be an accident, but you still have to face the consequences of your actions. And I just wonder, had these been Black students, would this energy be like that? And there are some people who are agreeing with me, who are saying, yeah, this is awful, but these kids, they need to be punished for this. Everybody's, oh, this is just playful. It wasn't intentional. This is so tragic. Yeah, it says, it just doesn't matter. It's like his life didn't matter to me. That's what it's giving. They should not be let free. It wasn't a freak accident. You don't run up. This is my thing. Where are the security cameras? Where are the ring cameras? Because if he tripped and fell and you're trying to get away, something's not adding up to me. Y'all toilet paper in the tree. He come out and catch y'all. Now, if he was looking for you to be doing this, like his family said, that he was excited, he was expecting it, why run out and possibly be running after the car? I'm trying to figure out how he got from his yard to being in the street to where he would get run over because he tripped. And if they're trying to make it seem like there was some type of agreement, like, yeah, we know where you live, we gonna be there. But if that were the case, why run off in the vehicle to where you're maybe in fear and you're not paying attention and you hit him, you didn't see him trip? It's just things are not adding up to me for this. This does not sound like a freak accident. This is something that they definitely need to be held accountable for. You fell in the streets while they were driving off. Did you fall in front of them? It's just so many questions. Something is not making sense to me. Now, someone says here in these comments, the kids were in two cars. The driver backed up his car, not realizing the teacher was behind the car, and slipped and fell. Someone said, well, this is suspicious. If he was reckless, who reverses really fast to escape forward? How did the teacher fall on the road before the vehicles drove off? If he already knew and popped the door open, then the students must have been behind. It's just something is not adding up to me. It's just really not. Am I missing something? Let me know. People are saying, stop calling it a prank gone wrong. Let me share the tab when I'm reading these comments. Feels weird that they didn't realize he was so close. Overexcited teenager driving it late at night, a lot can happen. It's just the excuses. It's the excuses. Tripped and fell into a roadway. Any witnesses besides the teens? Very odd change of events. He knew they were coming, but he still managed to chase them or go on the street while they were in vehicles at night. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And they're saying he was there at midnight when they should have been at home. This is just a lot. And the fact that his wife wants the charge dropped is a bit, I don't know. I just know Black kids wouldn't get this amount of grace. Something is fishy with this story. But it looks like the public is so ready to exonerate them that we may never get the truth. But this is very, very interesting. Let me know what y'all think about this. I'm gonna move on to the next story because I feel like today this is a long stream. There was a 12-year-old also in Georgia who died after a fight after school from getting off of the bus. And her mom is asking for answers. She's trying to understand how this was able to happen. So let's get into this story.
Answers after her 12-year-old daughter got into a fight at the bus stop and died. The mother says the bus driver should never have let the kids off that bus together. Channel 2's Tom Jones is live in Douglas County in Villa Rica. And Tom, as any parent can understand, that mother is heartbroken.
Yeah, Linda, heartbroken because her daughter was a quarter of a mile away from home when she got off the school bus here. But that's when Jada West got into a fight with another girl, and Jada never made it home and never made it to movie night with her mother.
She was like, Mama, can we do something?
Rashonda McClendon says she was looking forward to hanging out with her only child, 12-year-old Jada West.
We were supposed to go to the movies Friday.
But Jada never made it to the movies Friday. Actually, she never made it home that day. Cell phone video shows Jada beefing with a group of kids at the bus stop. Then she and a girl began fighting. Jada took a
So it kind of looks here like she was possibly getting jumped. You have her right here on this side and all those other children on the other side. Meanwhile, somebody is filming it. Like these kids are mirroring the behavior that they're seeing adults do, pulling cameras out while somebody's fighting instead of someone being that voice of reason.
hard fall and began to lose consciousness. We are not showing the actual fight and fall. One of Jada's friends ran to tell her mom what happened.
Got in my car and I drove up there and she was on the ground.
Jada wasn't breathing. She was taken to the hospital. Jada died the next day of cardiac heart failure. Her mother is in a lot of pain.
It gotta stop. It must stop. Violence has to stop.
McClendon wants to know why no one tried to stop the fight. On the video, you do hear a boy telling everyone to chill out.
Let's push the peace. Let's push the
McClendon says the conflict began on the bus and the driver should have been proactive.
The bus should have never let those kids off. Turn it around.
McClendon says her daughter was new to the school and had been bullied. She says we have to teach our kids violence isn't the answer.
Love. The Lord wants us to love one another, not tear one another down.
This is so sad and upsetting. It's so upsetting. This baby went to school, going about her day, almost home, and now she's no longer here. I cannot imagine the pain that her mom's going through, and this is so sad. And I agree with the mom. The bus driver should not have allowed those children to get off that bus if they were having a fight or if they had been beefing, especially because I did see in one report, I'm not sure if it was this one, that there wasn't even a stop that the child that was fighting her was supposed to get off on. And we hear that she was new to the school. She was being bullied. This bullying is out of control. And I thank God that I'm able to homeschool my children, because I'll be up at the school on the parents. Like the parents will have to see me. I'm sorry. I don't. You're not going to be bullying my child. And it seems like we keep hearing these stories over and over and over, because I have another one with another 12-year-old that died after being bullied. She recently died in February, but now her family is bringing up a lawsuit. So we're going to get into that next. But we see that bullying is an issue, and why aren't these schools doing something to protect these students? What is the issue with the parents? Are the parents being notified that their children are bullies? What in the world is happening? Because look, back in the day, I was one of the popular kids, okay? But even I dealt with bullying here or there because my teeth was crooked and I had acne. So I used to get teased. I never got into any fights or anything like that. There were little girls that tried to fight me. I will never forget it because their boyfriends liked me. Or, their boyfriends wanted to be my boyfriend, and the girls would like come see me after school. And I never got into any fights, but that kind of thing did happen. But people weren't dying. It was normal, like teenage school stuff. It'll die down after a day or two. That doesn't make it any less difficult to go through, but it didn't get to this point. It didn't escalate to this point where people were losing their lives. And I'm just wondering, you see these stories time and time again. What we got to figure something out, because things just cannot continue this way. Our children are the future. They're the future.
And Douglas County Schools plans to have grief counselors at Mason Creek Middle tomorrow when students return to school. Villa Rica police told me they are investigating and will forward the results of their investigation to the DA's office for review, and police are using that video as part of their investigation. We're live in Douglas County and Villa Rica. I'm Tom.
And so the thing is, the child passed away because she fell. It knocked her unconscious and her heart ultimately stopped. She had heart failure. But if she never had been getting jumped in the first place, it wouldn't have happened. And that's the thing that we talk to our kids about. That even as an adult, you know, we talk to other adults about it. We had to learn these lessons. Like when I'm telling you, like when I speak, y'all, I'm speaking from experience, and I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to act like I ain't never been through nothing. I've had situations in my life where you just learn things can get out of hand. If you are not, like, you can't, when you are in the heat of the moment, emotions are flying, children, adults, otherwise, bad things can happen. So we shouldn't even put ourselves in a position to allow those things to happen. Just like the previous story. Those kids didn't think that going to toilet paper the teacher's home would end up with him dead. That's something you couldn't have predicted, but it happened. And it wouldn't have happened had you not had your ass over there in the first place. Same with this situation. If y'all weren't bullying this girl trying to fight her, she would not have failed or fallen. She wouldn't have fallen and been knocked unconscious. And now she's gone. Her future is gone. Her life is gone. Her dreams. Her mama was planning to take her to the movies this weekend. It's sad, and she did not deserve that. And I'm so that this just really grieves me to know that a child lost her life in such a violent manner, fighting for her life. The fear that she must have felt, being alone, nobody there having her back. They're not even listening to the young man that's telling them to be peaceful. This is sad. And the kids are out of control. I'm sorry. This is horrible. But this is why my children are homeschooled. And people get in their feelings when folks talk about homeschooling. And it is what it is. I don't care. I bet my kids ain't gonna be going through that. Absolutely not. When the school ain't protecting them, the law is not gonna protect them. The bus driver, all the adults that's supposed to be in the room, making sure these types of things don't happen while somebody else's child is in your care, in your custody. And they do, like, it's just no. If you can, homeschool your kids. It is a sacrifice. I could be making money, good money at a job, but I'm home with my children because they need me, because they can't be out there to the wolves with these hooligans and being at school with kids that's trying to fight them and stuff. And say what you want. Some people think, oh, you're sheltering them, they won't have it. No, that we got to dispel some of these myths about homeschooling. But this is an example of why my children are homeschooled. I don't want them exposed to that type of mess. It's horrible. And I reject that's the space that they'll grow up in. You know, we trying to find like-minded people so our kids can be around one another. But these folks in here that's not teaching their kids anything and letting that go into school acting wild and you taking up for them, no, absolutely not. Someone's saying that it's not the bus driver's fault. I don't know. I'm not saying, they're saying his hands are tied. He cannot put his hands on those kids. No one's saying the bus driver should have put his hands on the kids. But as an adult, we got to dissolve certain situations. But I honestly think a lot of adults are afraid of these kids. And that's part of the problem too. This is so sad. So sad. Now, this next story is another sad story about the death of a 12-year-old girl. This young girl was in LA, but her parents are suing because she died after being hit in the head with a metal water bottle. So let's get into her story.
So a family says a bullying incident at school is linked to the death of their 12-year-old daughter, and now they're planning to take legal action.
Gigi Graciette live in the Sawtell neighborhood with this story. Gigi. Mario and Jen, in just over an hour, the attorneys for the family of 12-year-old Kimberly Zavaleta will be officially announcing they're suing the Los Angeles School District, Unified School District, over what they say was repeated bullying at Reseda Charter High School. Take a look. According to the family, on February 17th, Kimberly stepped in to defend her sister, who they say was being bullied by a group of students on campus. During that confrontation, Kimberly was hit in the head with a metal water bottle, they say. She was taken to UCLA Mattel Children's Hospital, where she underwent brain surgery and was then placed in a medically induced coma. She died shortly after. At a vigil for her last month, we spoke to her uncle.
If there's a cautionary tale here, is that this should not happen to anybody's kid. It's the fear of every parent and every uncle and every brother and every loved one to lose someone. But especially when it's somebody so young that did nothing wrong to anybody.
Now, LA Unified has not yet responded to the news of the lawsuit. We just reached out to them this morning, but earlier they said the safety and well-being of our students is taken very seriously. We are cooperating with law enforcement in connection with this incident. And it's very important to note that this morning we reached out to both the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner and the LAPD, and both of them confirmed that they have not determined how and why 12-year-old Kimberly Zavaleta died. As a matter of fact, the medical examiner told us they've asked for additional tests, and officially the cause of death has been deferred until those test results are in.
So they're actually not sure what happened to her. They're alleging that she was hit in the head with a water bottle, and it was a metal water bottle. They probably hit her really hard. You know, if you slam it, who knows? Who knows? It could be blunt force trauma, but apparently they're not issuing a cause of death because they aren't sure exactly what happened. And she was defending her little sister from being bullied. So this is just crazy. What are the kids? Where are the teachers? What is going on in these schools, y'all? And that kind of leads me. We got one more story, so I'm a save it. But the teachers are even feeling like their hands are tied in other ways with these kids.
14 and 15 years old and facing capital felonies. Detectives say they plan to kill a boy who reportedly looked like the Sandy Hook school shooter. Investigators say one of them believed if she killed her classmate, she would have a blood bond that would resurrect the now deceased Sandy Hook shooter from the dead. This is the first time that we're seeing and hearing from both girls. Cameras captured the moment right after Isabel Valdez and Lois Lippert's arrest in January. This is video we're seeing publicly for the first time. Wednesday morning, it will be shown in court. Prosecutors plan on arguing it's one of the reasons why both girls should stay behind bars. This is a motion filed ahead of the pretrial detention hearing that says that patrol car recorded everything, how the 14 and 15-year-old were discussing how much prison time they might receive, how they plan to sharpen the knife they were going to use in the attack, and what their parents might think.
My mom's going to be yelling at me to the phone. What are you doing? Why are you trying to kill him? Kid.
Detectives say that Valdez planned to wait for a classmate in the bathroom, stab him or cut his throat, and then leave flowers and smoke a cigarette after the killing was complete. The plan was foiled by an anonymous tip that gave law enforcement the chance to intervene.
He f***ing snitched. God, I knew I shouldn't have told him, because he was like, oh, can you please tell me I can't sleep tonight? You!
The video shows the pair joking during their car ride together, talking about how they would look for their mugshots and how they were supposed to spread their story around the true crime community.
Were you trying to look good for your mugshot?
Oh, am I gonna get a mugshot?
What, we're going to jail? What do you think?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, I was gonna do my makeup this morning for the mugshot, but I couldn't find anything.
I'm glad I don't actually look too bad today.
I look horrible. It's over.
Later, Valdez can be heard saying she thought she would be going to a psych ward.
Dude, I thought I was going to get sent to the psych ward. That's why I was so excited about everything. I think I would be so jolly if I was going to jail.
Another piece of evidence we're learning about tonight is a conversation between the two girls on Discord. Prosecutors say they shared messages there saying things like, quote, "It's going to be over by tomorrow."
This is insane. The cuckoo. And you see the Valdez girl, she was the mastermind. So, people are, of course, saying, all these things about them that is very disgusting that they would be behaving in this way. And it's just sad. It's so, so sad. They just hearing them in the car, they don't even have the capacity to understand what's going on, what the type of trouble that they're in, how this is going to follow them for the rest of their lives. On one hand, these are children. Again, it's a parenting field. It goes back to the parent. She's even saying her mom's like, why were you trying to kill it? As if like that's some casual thing. We're talking about ending a life, potentially ending a life. And then let's not even get into this idea that they're trying to do some type of witchcraft ritual to resurrect the Sandy Hook shooter because this child that they were targeting allegedly looked like him. That is insane. So children are being exposed to witchcraft, to satanic influences, and people are not taking it seriously. That's why it's not funny when we say that the girl that tried to shoot Rihanna, kill Rihanna, was talking some truth, or Tina Knowles got voodoo in her gumbo. It's real things going on. Children are exposed to real entities and influences in this world. This is not a game, and they apparently think it is. But children don't even when you look at them versus the children at the beginning of the story, the 18-year-olds, the seniors, they have a little bit more reasoning skills. They have a little bit more logic, or should, to make good decisions, better decisions. This 14 and 15-year-old girl should as well. I have a niece that's that age. She wouldn't do no crazy mess like this. But even if you think about it just from the context of them being children, they can't comprehend what they're doing. The evil, the sinister nature of it, the potential consequences of it. If this thing had actually happened the way that they wanted, they're laughing about being in jail. It's grown folks that off themselves because they don't want to go to jail. They don't understand the amount of trouble, how serious this is, and it's just a problem. It's very disturbing to see this happening. Now, I want to connect this to another issue, which maybe we can talk about again at some point, where teachers are speaking out about the situations in their classrooms, how the children are unruly, they cannot read. And it just has me wondering, like I started at the beginning of this segment, what is happening? Why are parents not parenting? Now, my theory is that because even for me, my children are small, but it's three of them. That gets hectic at home. Well, especially when we talking about homeschooling and I'm trying to work from home. But I had to pull away from working so much so that I could give my children everything that they need, that I would be refreshed and have the energy to do it while my husband is working, that I can monitor them and keep their minds on positive things, keep them engaged in positive things. That is what we are supposed to be doing as parents. And I see it now. People are trying to be social media influencers. So their time is spent in their phone on TikTok and Instagram trying to create content. They're not paying attention to their kids. Then you have the other ones who just want companionship. They want a man or they want a woman. So all of their energy is geared toward getting that man, getting that woman, talking about it online, trying to have the cutest clothes. They're not thinking about their kids. They're not even talking to their kids. They don't even know their kids. They're not having spending quality time with their kids. They're not having dinner at the table with their kids. They don't even want to be around their kids. They don't even want to be parents. So we got to we have to figure out some solutions to this. This is an issue that cannot just continue to grow. We need some youth intervention programs. We need mentoring groups again. Back in the day in the 90s when I was a teenager, there were mentoring groups. We used to take ballet. We went to church. We were part of community things. Like, what is going on? And you can blame the kids to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, it's always going to come from the top down. This is a parenting issue. Parents need to wake up. The devil wants your kids. He doesn't just want adults, he wants your kids too. Spirits don't care who they inhabit. Look at those girls trying to do a blood ritual on a classmate. I just read in the scriptures today about a little girl that was possessed with a demon. And the adults got mad because the apostles called the demon out of her because now that gravy train was cut off because she was making them money. People don't, it's the people out here that really don't care about kids or protecting them. We see that with the Epstein files. So it is up to us to protect our kids and the kids in our lives. And we got to do that. We got to figure it out. We all have a role to play in this. This is a village. Because at the end of the day, and that is why I'm so passionate about it, I am going to be doing some youth media workshops coming up. I cannot wait to talk about them. They're still being scheduled. They're in the works. But that's my effort to try to offer kids something to do that's something fun, it's something different. It's not school, but you're still learning. It's hands-on, it's relevant, it's modern, it's mentorship in a different way to learn the media, how to create their own media, be responsible creators of media, be responsible citizens, contribute to society. Kids need that. I do that because my children are growing up in this world. And I don't want them out here like it's the Hunger Games trying to protect themselves from their peers. Y'all, we got to wake up. We got to put these phones down. It's okay to get your fix, get your news, get your kiki in, have your fun, because there's a time for everything. And you do get some good, laughs from the internet. It is a way to unwind. I like to binge watch reality shows. That's my thing. Reality shows and anything dealing with Gordon Ramsay. And basketball when it's in season. Those are the things I like to watch. But there's a time when I got to cut it off and I got to be a mama. There's a time when my husband can't listen to his music and go out and do the things that he likes to do because he got to be a daddy. Parents, we need to be parenting our kids because the government is also using this to infringe upon our rights and to overreach because you think that these social media bans are in the interest of the children, but they're not because they would do something about the platform themselves, not restrict the kids from it. They do something about these Epstein files. They'll do something about these human trafficking, all these missing kids. So if you think that the internet ban is about protecting kids, think again. So raise your kids, watch them, raise them, watch them, raise them, watch them. At the very least to protect your rights so you don't lose anymore. Because we've lost them. We're losing them every day. As things like these continue to happen, the things that we saw during the COVID era that never went away. We got to wake up, y'all. We got to wake up. We are in some very, very cutthroat times, some prophetic times, and you don't want to feed your kids to the beast. So this is a challenge to all the parents out there. I'm not saying I'm the mom of the year. What I am saying is our children deserve a future. And they don't have one if we don't create it and we aren't proactive about it. And that is the thing that's so scary because we've just become this society that just cares about what's in it for us. We care about our bag. We care about our household. Some of us, some people don't even care about that. But we got to think about this as a community. We got to think about this as humanity. Our kids deserve more than what they're getting. They deserve to be protected. They deserve to be invested in. They deserve to be heard. Because those kids, who wants to go to the psych ward? Who looks forward to that? She doesn't even understand what she's asking. And that's a failure on her mama and daddy part. Whew. These demonic influences, these spirits, y'all, they are running rampant on this earth. Remember, this world is controlled by unseen forces. Read your Bible, folks. Get in your Bible. It is real. Look at CERN and what they are really trying to do with CERN. Look at this synthetic human genome project. We got to look out for the kids. And I'm going to end this stream there. Thank you so much for watching. If you have made it to the end, like I said before, you like the stream, just face it. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up so I can get that engagement up. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought about this episode. Tell me where you're watching from. Just engage with me, you guys. And if you want to support this content, head over to Patreon and become a member. Thank you again to our sponsors for presenting today's episode. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.